Our gospel reading for this morning comes from the 28th chapter of Matthew, Matthew's account of the events of that first Easter morning. Listen to what the Spirit may speak to us through these words. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And suddenly there was an earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descending from heaven came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. For fear of him, the guards shook and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, as he said. Come see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and indeed he is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. This is my message for you." So they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." And they came to him and took hold of his feet and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I suppose it is something of a stereotype. The women are still trying to care for Jesus. There's really little they can do at this point, but they can go and visit the cemetery. They were there briefly on Friday evening, but the Sabbath had interrupted, and they were observant Jews. But now with the Sabbath over and the morning breaking, they can go back there again. I'm not sure where the men are. They've been AWOL since Thursday evening, running away when Jesus was arrested. Peter makes a brief appearance outside the home of the high priest, but he denies even knowing Jesus when people think that they recognize him, and he's not been seen since. Perhaps the men are hiding in fear that they could be arrested as well. Or perhaps they're upset and angry at how things have played out. Just a week before, they had been on cloud nine. They had visions of being part of Jesus' cabinet when he took power. Yes, Jesus had spoken repeatedly of the cross, but Jesus often spoke in riddles. They had bet that he was different from all those other messiahs who had showed up and gotten executed by the Romans. But now he was dead. Surely some of them felt let down by Jesus. Wherever it is the men are, two women named Mary head to the cemetery early on a spring morning. Perhaps they stopped by the local Safeway and picked up some flowers. That's the sort of thing you do when you go to visit a cemetery. Most of you have made such a visit. Perhaps picked up some flowers and taken them to leave there. It's a perfectly normal thing to do. People do it all the time. People also go to cemeteries just to be there. They are quiet, peaceful places, often garden-like, and sometimes they're benches where you can just sit and meditate. If you go to Jerusalem, you can go to the place some say is the tomb of Jesus. at a place called the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But if the huge crowds and the ornate church building don't feel much like a cemetery to you, you can always go to the Garden Tomb. It's an ancient tomb like the one Jesus would have been buried in, and some people think it a lot more likely spot for Jesus' actual tomb than the official one. Regardless, it does feel more like a cemetery. It's quiet, and you can sit on a bench and meditate. One thing about going to a cemetery, there's usually not a lot of activity there. There's the occasional funeral. Every now and then the quiet may be broken by the caretaker's tractor or a weed eater. A car may slowly drive through. But not much happens in a cemetery. When you or I or Mary Magdalene go to visit a cemetery, we can be reasonably sure that there's not much going on. We go without expecting much. We may get emotional, we may cry, but we know that nothing will happen. Except in movies or on TV, graves do not open up and the dead come out. Dead people stay dead. Some of the world's rules are flexible or have their exceptions, but some are absolute. The sun comes up in the morning. It gets dark again at night. It's warmer in the summer and cooler in the winter. And dead people stay dead. And so when we go to the cemetery, we don't go expecting to see a loved one we've lost. No one goes to a cemetery expecting to meet a departed loved one. We may hope to meet them again later when we've died in another life, but not in this one. That's just the rule. And you can't break it. And so when we go to the cemetery with the flowers we picked up at Safeway, we can go certain that while we may cry, or we may pray, or we may dream of a day when we'll be reunited with loved ones, we know that the dead stay dead. Nothing will happen. That's the rule. And we know that it is true. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary know it just as certainly as we do. And so they will go to the cemetery. They will pay their respects and they will leave their flowers. And then they will go and find the men wherever they're hiding. And they'll start to think about getting back to life as it was before they ever met Jesus. We may do something similar today. We come to church on Easter knowing full well what will happen. There'll be wonderful music and the brass will play and we'll sing and we'll celebrate. And then we'll go back home and get back to regular day-to-day life. But when Mary Magdalene and the other Mary go to the cemetery with their flowers, the rules, the things they are so sure of, turn out not to be true. The earth shakes. A messenger from God appears, and it turns out that the dead do not always stay dead. The risen Jesus meets them and tells them to go and find those men who are hiding. Tell them to go to Galilee. there they will see me. Tell them to start thinking about life very different than it has ever been before. What if the things we're so certain of turn out not to be true? What if we meet the risen Jesus? What if he's there as we come to the table? What if we bump into him as we're leaving today? That can't happen, we say. That's not how things work. But what if it turns out that the things that we know are not true? Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Hallelujah. Thanks be to God.